President al-Assad discusses with the Speaker of the Pakistani House of Senate the issue of terrorism and the need for a principled stand by all states against it. Several terrorists killed by the Syrian Arab army units in Dara'a, Quneitra and Idleb countryside. The Iraqi army liberates 150 families besieged by ISIL in the surroundings of Baghdadi province and eliminates scores of terrorists. Good afternoon, this is news in English from the Syrian Arab television in Damascus. President Bashar al-Assad received this morning the Speaker of the Pakistani House of Senate's head of the Asian Parliamentary Society, Sayyid Nair Hussein Bukhari, and the delegation accompanying him, in the presence of the Syrian People's Assembly Speaker Muhammad Jihad al-Laham. The meeting covered issues of common interest, particularly the question of terrorism in its different names and forms and the need for a principled stance by all states to fight it. Emphasis was laid on the necessity for the world community to shoulder its responsibilities through encouraging collective common action to eradicate this plight which threatens everybody without encroaching on states' sovereignties and the rights of peoples to self-determination and without any foreign intervention. President Assad said preliminary and parliamentary cooperation is quite crucial because parliaments represent peoples and work to serve their interests. His Excellency affirmed to Mr. Bukhari serious support for the efforts exerted to enhance parliamentary work and turn the Asian Parliamentary Society into an Asian parliament capable of cooperating with other parliaments to work more effectively for finding solutions for the problems of the region and the world. On his part, Mr. Bukhari voiced confidence that the step of forming an Asian parliament would help bring about positive results at all levels for the peoples of the Asian continent, expressing hope that stability and peace would be restored in Syria as soon as possible. Within the same framework, Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Expatriates Minister Walid al-Muallim also met the Pakistani official and the accompanying delegation. Talks dealt with bilateral relations between the two friendly countries and means of strengthening them in all domains. Mr. al-Muallim has underlined the necessity of exerting mutual efforts to combat terrorism that both Syria and Pakistan are suffering from and the importance of implementing the relevant Security Council's resolution, pointing out to the vital role that the parliaments could play, being the true representative of the peoples and their voice in the international arenas. For his part, Mr. Bukhari pointed out that the importance of international coordination in combating terrorism, which constitutes a real threat to international society, voicing hope that Syria would come back as ever before with security and stability restored again. Syrian Arab army units have eliminated a number of terrorists in several areas in Dara'a suburbs, including al-Aqraba, al-Awsaj and int'l, and destroyed a truck loaded with terrorists near the western Ghariya. In Quneitra countryside, several terrorists were killed and their vehicles were destroyed in the War Nab' al-Sakhr, al-Hamidiyya and al-Samadaniya. Several terrorists were also killed in Kara al-Ghazal, al-Hutta, Tal Salamu and Jrain in Idleb countryside. In Damascus countryside, a Syrian Arab army unit has ambushed a terrorist group and captured other gunmen during the latter's attempt to infiltrate from eastern Ghouta in the direction of Admir. Syria's permanent representative to the United Nations, Dr. Bashar Jaafari, has said that respect for state sovereignty and territorial integrity and non-intervention in their affairs represent the basic criteria for protecting international peace and security and honoring the United Nations Charter. During a United Nations Security Council session to discuss the protection of international peace and security on the 78th anniversary of the United Nations Charter, Jaafari said the Turkish regime has gathered, armed and financed bloodthirsty terrorist criminal groups and foreign mercenaries from all corners of the world and sent them to Syria and Iraq to make Syria a base for their terrorists, from which they set forth to neighboring countries and the world at large. Jaafari said training foreign mercenaries in Pentagon-supervised camps in Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Qatar and Jordan and sending them across borders to fight Syria is a flagrant violation of the simplest United Nations Charter's principles because of influential states of the United Nations Security Council. The UN, Jaafari added, has been incapable of getting many of its resolutions implemented, particularly those calling for an end to Israeli occupation. Double standards have been adopted. Mottos like preserving citizens' lives have been used as a pretext for interference in countries like Libya, Iraq and other countries, and imposition of coercive measures on states including Syria. Spanish authorities have dismantled a network for recruiting female teenagers to be sent to fight among the ISIL ranks in Syria and Iraq. The Spanish step comes in light of the mounting danger of terrorism for the West itself, which has made and financed terrorism in Syria, Iraq and the region. Many European circles have admitted to the influx of terrorists into Syria despite the Western security measures. Some states have moreover started to monitor terrorist activities on social networks with the purpose of having them under control. In Iraq, the Iraqi army freed 150 families who had been trapped by the ISIL terrorists in the environs of al-Baghdadi district in al-Anbar province. The operation resulted in the killing of 15 terrorists. The Iraqi army eliminated 23 ISIL terrorists and injured dozens others, blowing up a tunnel where the terrorists tried to sneak into the government compound in the center of al-Ramadi. Iraqi sources said that the army planted explosive devices in the 700-kilometer tunnel and blew them up when the terrorists entered inside. A Palestinian young man was killed in an Israeli aggression on a Dheisha refugee camp near Bethlehem, south of the occupied West Bank. Confronting the Israeli aggression on the camp, the Palestinian people who were able to injure an Israeli soldier in the town of Zluba, west of Jenin city. A number of Palestinians suffered suffocation cases as Israeli occupation forces fired tear gas while storming the area in the Gaza Strip. The Israeli occupation forces opened machine guns at the Palestinian fishermen and their boats, inflicting serious damage at the boats and preventing them from earning their living. Libyan Prime Minister Abdullah al-Thani asserted the coordination between Libya and Egypt concerning the airstrikes against the ISIL positions in the country. Al-Thani said that the Libyan government aims to continue coordination with Egypt. He also criticized the insisting rejection of the United States, Britain and the European Union to provide weapons to the Libyan army, despite the fact that these countries have sufficient information on the flow of weapons and ammunition to other militias. On the ground, the Libyan army said it has maintained full control over Al-Hinya camp, southwest of Ajdabia city, expelling ISIL terrorists from the area. The Ministry of Defense in the Republic of Donetsk has announced that the Ukrainian troops breached yesterday evening the agreement of ceasefire 10 times, adding that an attack by mortar shells was carried out on a village along the border. For his part, Deputy Commander of the Popular Forces has said that the authorities in Donetsk have started to withdraw heavy weapons from all the points of clashes with the Ukrainian army, pointing out that 96 pieces of heavy weapons have been withdrawn in accordance with the Minsk agreement signed on the 12th of this month. With this, we come to the end of our news for today. Thank you for watching. For more details about Syria and the region, and to view this bulletin again, you can always visit our website in English, www.syriaonline.sy. Stay with us, the latest in the world of economy and finance with Nani Mahmoud after the break.